It's a real pleasure to be here today. About this time last year, I was at the last Mauk Chevening conference, which I think was one of my favourite events.
Today we saw why regional approach is crucial for solving the issues. We share the same values, we share the same problems, and we were just trying to find common goals, very small steps that groups such as Chevening Alumni can do in order to change their societies. We're all in the EU integration processes. Some of the countries are faster, seem to be faster, some of them are behind and would like to really step up and be at the same pace as the others. But all the professions that were on the Chevening scholarship could be the one that are bringing the change to their societies. It's really important to find these common denominators, to find steps that societies can do, not only the civil society but also other experts from the side of economy or some of the more modern than we lawyers are, and to really bring new values and to bring new speed for changes.
Being a Chevening alumni, it's not just a privilege, it's also a responsibility, and we share common values. So the possibility to come out together, to meet up with other Cheveners from the region is very important, because this is how we can share our experiences, raise concerns and try to find solutions that needs to be on the regional level. And we as a group of professionals, I think we are one of those groups who has the responsibility to try to make changes in our own countries and also in our region. So basically this kind of conferences are great opportunities, because first of all it gave us the possibility to meet each other, and then also to maybe come up with new ideas or new projects that might succeed and might have a regional effect in a positive way.
I think that the organization of this conference is extremely important and much needed for several reasons. The first is that after 35 years of Chevening scholarship, we have an amazing network of professionals, over several hundreds of them in all 6 Western Balkans states, working in the fields from human rights to social entrepreneurship, to science, to policy and economic analysis. And it's very important for us to network and keep track who is doing what in order to establish some cooperation. The second reason is that in time of democratic decline that all of our countries are facing, where we experience similar challenges, it is important to know that we have this as a resource. And finally, I think this year Mauk conference gained an increased geographic coverage. So we have representatives from Latin America, from Southeast Asia, from Middle East and North Africa, and that gives us a fantastic opportunity to compare both the challenges but also the solutions to all the problems the region is facing. So I wish Mauk much success in similar events in future.
Well, studying abroad breaks down the bubble that you live in, especially when you're within your own comfort zone. In a multicultural society like Malaysia, especially within this transitional period, it's very important for us to come together as different people and work our differences and find solutions on how we can move forward as a country. And the best way to do that, I believe, is to foster empathy. And the best way to foster empathy is to live with someone, to learn with them and to play with them. And studying abroad gives you that opportunity to realize that we're all just one people.
Strong and independent youth is important for creating a sound and healthy entrepreneurial environment. But on the other hand, a strong entrepreneurial environment creates a stronger youth. So it's a two-way street. I think here in the Balkans there are so many challenges, but these challenges represent opportunities. So we need to move away from the model where we expect the government to be the main solver of our problems and issues, and rather rely on the local communities and local people who know the problems the best and can bring the best solutions forward. Of course, governments and policymakers, as well as international partners and international development partners can bring a lot of knowledge, can transfer a lot of resources and networks, but in the end, the solutions are in our hands. So being a bit more proactive, entrepreneurial, creative in everyday life and in every kind of environment, not only the business environment, but also in terms of government, NGOs and so on, can really bear fruits and solve the most pressing challenges that our societies face.
I would say the most difficult challenge actually we deal with when it comes to human rights is the fact that there is a lack of instruments for operationalization of human rights and the lack of tools for mainstreaming human rights in different policies and in different environments. And in that sense, this conference is the great opportunity actually for us to change the exchange experiences and also to improve our approaches towards advocating for better human rights protection in the region.
It was important to present this topic, to present the findings from the Extremism Research Forum, which was financed by the FCO and implemented by the British Council, to Chevening alumni, because it's a different target from our usual audience, which usually consists of security and policy-making circles. However, seeing that the fact that youth radicalization is a phenomenon that has to be combated from various spectrums, and the fact that here in the audience we have people from different fields, including social entrepreneurship, including representative of regional youth cooperation organization, including different representatives of education, youth activism. It was very, very important to present this to them so we can get their feedback and their views on how we could all together jointly address the radicalization of youth in the region through different reconciliation, mobility and activism schemes.
This regional conference allowed for participation of different Chevening associations from the region, and by this it allowed exchange of information, perspectives and views on the status of democracy in our societies, the status of youth development, topics such as social entrepreneurship, human rights and others. This kind of gathering is a great platform to think about fostering further regional cooperation among different Chevening alumni associations in the region, to see whether there is an interest in this type of cooperation and how it could take place. The Montenegrin Association has been putting in place this type of project for years, and I guess that it can serve as a good example and it can help other organizations with similar ambitions to start with their work or to improve their work, and it can maybe serve also as a catalyst for a regional Chevening Alumni Association.
I think science, technology and innovation is interrelated with democracy and governance. On one hand, I think that science, especially publicly available science, can help democracy by providing the evidence needed for policymaking, a policymaking that is able to tackle the issues of human rights and also sustainable development. On the other hand, I think that policy making can really help science by promoting more participative approaches where science is not only driven by intellectual curiosity but also by the needs of society. These are just two of the dimensions of the open science concept, a concept that I think can shape the future of knowledge and development.
In the digitalized world, it is as important as ever to see human rights as a network. Any right that I have affects and may be affected by the rights of others. For instance, any post that I make on any social media may possibly be the demonstration of my right to freedom of expression, but may infringe on someone's right to privacy. And in the digital world, unlike the offline world, the information travels so fast. It's instant, it's global, and it's on mass scale. So every time you log online, you remember that with great power comes great responsibility.
CSR is actually a very good starting point in order to foster sustainable development approach and make people be more consciously, have a more conscious behavior and taking into account social aspects and environmental issues as well. However, CSR is just a starting point, and a lot needs to be done through other approaches such as multi-stakeholder engagement and also create opportunities to talk together and create opportunities for dialogue in order to think differently and push towards a paradigm shift. And this is what everybody needs to think about. And this will bring a lot more solutions and try to address this issues of profit versus conscious and profit versus purpose. And this is it's a beginning, and a lot needs to be done.
We have a variety of different exoskeletons. So, for example, if we are talking about exoskeleton for the healthcare system, today they cost about 100,000 euro, and it's quite expensive. So only the top hospitals can afford such devices, for example, for robot rehabilitation. With the democratization of wearable robotics or exoskeletons, these systems become affordable and accessible to the mass.
Social enterprises typically operate where both the government and the private sector fail to provide services and the products for the people. So we have this, for instance, microcredit institutions who are providing loans to poor people who otherwise wouldn't have access to mainstream financial markets. They provide employment opportunities to the disabled, to people with learning difficulties, and people with other forms of disabilities. So this is how social enterprises contribute to having a more inclusive society. Yet, in order to be able to provide this, social enterprises need support. And the support is not only from the government, the support is from the people to understand the important role played by social enterprises in the society. So if you have a social enterprise in your community, and by buying from that social enterprise, as opposed to like other global and mainstream companies, you actually contribute to not only promoting the idea of the social enterprise and contributing to the sustainability of that social enterprise, but you also help keep the money in the local economy and not having all the profits transferred to these global companies who might be founded or established elsewhere around the world. And that's how social enterprises, when embraced by a society, can have it more inclusive and more, I would say, tolerant.
What's special about Chevening is that, for example, we all met each other 4 years ago, studying in different cities in the UK, in different programs, and we became close friends back then, but little that we know that we will be meeting each other 4 years later here in Montenegro, with people flying in from Malaysia, Algeria, and other countries from the world. Colombia / France / Switzerland / Macedonia to meet each other and meet all these other amazing people from the Chevening program.
And seems like time didn't pass, you know?
Exactly.
We always remember the same stories, but it's like they happened yesterday, and time didn't pass.
Yeah, to me it's the continuity aspect of Chevening Scholarship. It feels like it's one very big moment of our lives then, and it doesn't just stop there. I mean, yeah, maybe we only met each other after 4 years here in Montenegro, for places, but between then, so many more opportunities for other alumni to meet all over the world, you know.
And also, it's not just the people that you met in England, but every time you meet another Chevener,
Yeah, exactly.
it's like you feel an instant connection. So I think this is something that really connects us.
And before we were thinking about where to go at night, and now we're thinking about how to work together, how to cooperate, how to find new projects,
and how to travel to more new places.
More conferences. We need more conferences to meet each other.
Yeah. Thank you, Chevening.
Thank you. Bye.